So in this discussion, we will focus on the appreciation of the current African education landscape, just touching on issues of how our education has been and is continued to be designed. The second aspect is understanding the heritage-based education 5.0 model, which is being deployed in Zimbabwe at the moment. And then the third, last but not least element is understanding your role as a young person in terms of adding value to the education system that is building you, that is designing your future as well. So those are the three issues we will focus on. Let's dive into it now. So the first thing is our appreciation of the current African education landscape. You will understand that any education system is created by some people who sit down and design it for a purpose. Education systems don't just emerge by themselves. So Africa and this education system have had some individuals sitting down and creating what they want. And I will tell you that the education system that is currently in place is informed by what happened over centuries ago, where systematic disruption and organized paralysis have been put in place and deployed on the African continent. So you are not affected today by something that simply emerged over a few decades ago. It's a centuries-old creation by some individuals. And if you look at the issue of the partitioning of Africa, even before that, you look at the slave trade, you look at how imperialism, neocolonialism, and even apartheid down South Africa, they have played their role in terms of shaping where Africa is and where the African child should go and how the African child must think. It has been designed through those centuries of such social, economic, and political factors. Now, you also need to understand that at the heart of any designing of any education system, particularly the current one that we have in Africa, it was designed to perpetuate plunder on the African continent. And the plunder was designed to tap into our human energy, physically, I must say, which is demonstrated by the slave trade and other forms of enslavement that Africans have suffered. The second aspect is intellectual exploitation. Now, intellectual exploitation covers a lot of areas. Inclusive of those areas is the issue of our ability to create, ability to think, ability to innovate, ability to invent. And most of those elements have since been taken over, or they have been covered by deliberate strategies so that they are not known and they are not channeled in the mainstream education system to an extent that it becomes difficult for you to know that there are some Africans who have changed the whole world in terms of invention. The other thing that I should mention as part of this background is that education systems must be designed to equip young people and future citizens to be able to confront complex problems and deal with them and provide complex solutions to complex problems. Unfortunately, we are not in that space at the moment. We have so many complex problems that just continue unresolved. So my conclusion to everything is that this particular current education system by its design is a generational scam. In other words, it paints Africans as perpetual consumers, whereas Europeans in particular and other continents as perpetual producers of globally competitive goods and services.